It's London right here on your Classic Metal Show with Russian Winter. And I want to thank our good friend Bob Nalbandian for being a part of the show tonight.
Yeah.
He's always a fun guest.
And wasn't he your NAMM hookup too?
No, Don actually hooked me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well then fuck Bob.
No, Bob actually did come through, but he came through like it was literally within 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I got the NAMM passes at 2, and Bob came across at 4.
So what you're saying is Bob was slow on the draw. I hear you. It's fine.
Well, Bob did his best, and he got me hooked up, and Don got me hooked up, and so yeah, I'm going.
Well, that'll be good. I noticed Bob didn't call me when he had extra NAMM passes.
He probably said, "Fuck it, Chris ain't ever going to come out here."
Well, he would have been right. I mean, I wouldn't have gone, but I would have liked the offer.
You like just the thought of going.
There's no way am I going to a fucking clusterfuck of musicians. No fucking way.
Yeah, but let's talk about that. That you would go to the screening in the middle of the summer. You will go.
I'm definitely going.
Okay, because I will definitely be there as well. So we could do a LA thing.
Yeah.
In July or whenever this thing is going to be released.
We should set it up with Bob and broadcast from there.
Well, I mean, if it's on a Thursday.
We could broadcast on a Thursday.
Okay.
Why couldn't we?
Well, it's not that we can't.
Don't you think? Yeah, maybe not, because then that takes away from our fun to have to actually do work. Yeah, we'll just go with our little recorders and get a couple people, say a couple words.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I'm definitely going. I'm going to buy myself one of those tuxedo T-shirts so that I can look all snazzy.
Well, nobody dresses up for these things. It's just you just hang out at a theater or like a club theater type place and go go see the screening.
Maybe I'll get a real tuxedo just to look out of place. That would be typical, wouldn't it? If I showed up in a tux.
Right.
Like a white tux with red.
Yeah, you'd be like the Step Brothers, where you show up in a tux for a job interview.
Exactly.
Yeah, out of place.
That'd be good.
Tie and tails, limo, pull up, act like it's a gala, and everybody's standing there, who the fuck is this guy?
Exactly. But yeah, no, I'm definitely coming. Dude, a movie I'm in? Fuck yeah, I'm coming.
Well, again, I know you don't like to travel that much, so.
I don't. I hate it, but, for a movie, the first time I've been in a movie, I'm going. I definitely want to be a part of the whole thing.
All right. Well, I definitely will go to this. I mean, obviously, I've been to a couple already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to the NAMM thing for this debut on Wednesday, and I'll be there for a couple of days.
Yeah. And then after my appearance there for that one, I'll never leave the state again.
Nope, not going.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Fuck it. I'm not going.
Yeah. Why would I actually go to when I have computers that I can just connect to wherever I need to connect to?
Right, exactly.
Don't go anywhere, please. That's so 2014.
I guess it's just fun being a part of the whole thing.
Oh, geez. You and your being part of things.
Yeah.
I'm a cyber part of everything. What do you think of that?
Too funny.
Nice.
Well, you got to get out there and mingle, man.
Dude, who went out more than anybody in the last 3 months? I went to fucking 15 shows in 3 months. That's a lot of getting out, isn't it?
Well, that is true. You did go out to a lot more shows than I did.
Yeah, and I'm going to see Metallica in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to see, I think Candlebox is in there somewhere, and I think Dokken is in there somewhere.
Yep.
My little concert running hasn't stopped yet. It's just on break for January because there's nothing good. There's nothing really good in January to go see, so I'm taking a little hiatus, restocking the money so that I can go back to more concerts in February and March and April.
Well, there you go.
Getting ready to do it again.
Well, I'm glad to see you're getting out more than you have recently. How's that?
Well, dude, I'm going to be dead in a couple of years. I might as well get some short-lasting memories while I can.
Too funny. Well, I got a text from the lovely V, and she said she's back at the hotel safe and sound.
Well, that's good, because Twinsburg cops are notoriously cunty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they'd be offering her $800 to see those tits.
So what did she do? She just flew into Cleveland?
Yeah, she flew into Cleveland, and we hung out for a couple of days, and then she's got a appointment in Dayton Monday, but she's gonna stay in Dayton tomorrow night.
Right.
And then she's got a meeting in Dayton, and then she flies back Monday night, I believe.
I gotcha. Well, she's back to the hotel after you kicked her out.
Did she say that?
No.
Because I kind of did.
Oh, I know. I kind of got that feeling.
I was like, all right, time to go.
It's like, this isn't going anywhere. You got to go.
Yeah. But whatever. I love Veronica. So
Of course.
if she wanted to come on, she can come on. Fans don't like it. Suck a dick. Go listen to Eddie Trunk.
Yeah, I could tell that, the culture shock, as it were, kind of was affecting her a little bit because, I mean, it really has been years since she's been on the show.
Yeah, it has.
And she's kind of been out of the loop, and, to her being barraged with our typical shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You can kind of tell she was just like, holy shit, what did I step into?
She's never been here to actually get it eye to eye.
That is true.
And that's, when I start going off on my tangents and I'm looking her dead in the eye when I'm saying some of the crazy shit I'm saying, I get that that's intimidating a little bit. Whatever. It was funny, though. Dude, if you just seen her squirming around in the chair.
Oh, I can imagine.
She's, because I have that, the black chair that I have, the black office chair with the arms.
Mm-hmm.
She was sitting in that chair. And especially when I started on the phone with John, about the jerking off versus fucking the sex doll.
Right.
She was looking for a place to climb and hide. She was just, I mean, it started with her head down, then her head to the side, then one leg up on the chair, then both legs up on the chair, then trying to like hide underneath herself on the chair.
Right.
Too fucking funny. It was definitely fun. I was having a ball. The more she squirmed, the more I just kept going. Because I was having fun with that.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Of course.
Well, I mean, it's been going on 6 years ago that she was here in the studio the night that she participated in, when she was sitting here on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Being part of the show, she was all over the couch.
Sure.
Rolling off onto the floor, burying her face in the carpet. It was just like she just couldn't take it.
And that was just when you were banging her.
Yeah, that didn't happen, but okay.
I kid.
Yeah, of course. But she was just beside herself with the goofiness that was going on.
Yeah, she's still in that weird zone.
Yeah.
She's in that weird not quite done being depressed, but trying to be done being depressed zone.
Right.
And believe me, I get it. I've been there. So, I'm glad that she was out. I was me and her had some fun. Yesterday we had like was supposed to be a very to the point meeting that it was for like an hour. And then it was just like 4 hours of drinking and me telling stories.
Yeah.
Which,
well, I hung out with her in Columbus when Benedictum was playing that Rock Fest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down there for about 2 days with her, and we ran around down there and cut up and had dinner and drank wine and just had a lot of fun. I mean, it was just a laugh fest.
Yeah, she's fun.
She is. She's just laugh, and she was here. She came here she didn't stay here, but she was here for 2 days.
Right.
And the time that we hung out here, we just cut up.
Yeah.
I was teaching her a little bit about podcasting because at the time she was thinking that, she wanted to do a podcast of some kind.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But she just didn't dedicate the time to do it. But during that time, I was teaching her how to run the recording and the equipment and everything to do it. And, during that time, we just cut up and laughed and,
Yeah. She gets on I don't know if it's our show or all shows or what, but she gets, especially on our show, she gets really nervous.
Of course.
Because I think it's because we're wild cards, and there's really no, you go and do a regular radio show, you sort of know what's coming.
Yeah, because it's all structured.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, she didn't know. I mean, me and her perfectly casual for 2 fucking days, and then I just come out and start just ramping up and telling secrets of things I'm not supposed to mention. Yeah, I don't think she liked that too much. Oops.
Well, anyway, she's back at the hotel, safe and sound.
Good.
All right. Well, we got about an hour and 20 minutes.
All right.
So you never really did elaborate at the beginning of the show too much about your Christmas at all.
Oh, not much to talk about, really. I did the family thing. I went and hung out with the family. Did that. That was fun. Other than that, nothing really. New Year's, I went over to John and Steph's, and like I said, I smoked a bunch of weed, drank a bunch of beers, and came home. I was home by like 9:30.
So wow, that was an early night.
Yeah, I went over it dude. As you're aware, my back has been just fucked up, and it's finally better. By the way, it's probably like 85% better, and it is healing finally. Because I went back to the chiropractor, and wow, this guy, I got to give this guy credit. Although at the moment it happened, I was ready to punch him in his fucking face. Because he put me on this table. I don't know if you've seen these chiropractor tables, but it's like a section table. And, you're sitting on the section, and he releases something so that your legs swing left and right and up and down and shit. And then he puts his foot on a foot pedal or something, and then different sections of the table just drop out.
Okay.
So that your back or your hips or whatever are adjusted, right? So he's swinging my legs back and forth, all of a sudden, boom, and I'm like, holy mother of fuck! And he's like, okay, we're going to do this 8 more times or whatever. I'm like, 8 more times? Holy fuck. But then he takes... What ended up happening, and it's the second time this happened, is remember a year and a half ago, I had the same problem where my hip, where your hip connects to your fucking back, dislocated.
Okay.
My left hip got dislocated or jammed up or some shit. I don't know what happened. But so he did this thing to loosen it up, and then he took this... I don't know what you call this thing, but I'm laying on the table, and he took this thing, and it felt like I don't know what you'd call it, the thing that a buffer that you would buff a hallway with or something?
Yeah.
If you took one of those and just put it on 2 handles instead of took off the big long handle and just had it 2 handhelds, so that you could set it on something.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that, but he took this fucking thing and he put it right on where my hip was all jacked up. And at the same time, he dropped the table.
Yeah.
And just jammed this thing on my goddamn hip. And then when he jammed this thing on my fucking hip, all of a sudden it was like... I was like, holy motherfucker. Are you hurting me a lot? But sure as shit, I felt something pop right back into place. And now my back, it's been about a week, and my back is 95% better all of a sudden.
Good. I'm glad he was able to help you.
Yeah, he definitely helped me out. But because my back was all fucked up, I didn't do a lot for the holidays, because I really just couldn't. I just couldn't do a bunch. But with John and Steph's, I wasn't even planning on going. But I called John and, honestly to tell him I wasn't coming out. And Steffi started being pissed off that I wasn't coming out. So, and I still wasn't going to come out. But then me and John got into a call that ended up, being an hour of bullshitting about nothing.
Sure.
So I finally was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'll just come out. So I ran down there and we just partied. Not even really partying, really. We were playing like trivia games and shit, on the TV while drinking, and me and this guy Danny getting really high. But that was the extent of it. And then by like 9 o'clock, I was like, all right, I got to get home before the police are out.
Right, of course.
So, I came home. Like I said, I was watching TV by like 9:30.
Wow, that was an early afternoon, early evening.
Yeah, it really was. But it goes back to my back. My back was still fucked up. There was no way if I would have stayed even 10 minutes longer, I had to stay the night, which meant with a fucked up back, sleeping on a couch or something. And I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to wake up and then not be able to move. So I was like, you know what? I know I'm comfortable in my bed. I know how to sleep in my bed without my back hurting too fucking bad. So I hauled ass out of there and went home.
Nice. Good for you.
But that was my big exciting holidays. I really didn't do a lot of anything.
Yeah, it sounds like you and I kind of chilled, man. But
Yeah.
did you said you spent the Christmas with the family.
Yeah.
Did anybody get you a gift that you were just like particularly liked, or was it just like, don't get me anything?
Well, I told everybody don't get me anything, and believe me, everybody honored that tradition.
Oh, good.
Except for we did do a Secret Santa, which we do every year, where because there's my brother has he has four kids, and his wife and my mom and my 3 kids, and so there's a large collection of people, I guess, or not large but decent sized collection.
A collection.
So, yeah. So everybody, but none of us want to go and try and buy fucking 15 gifts.
Sure, of course.
So we just decided a few years ago we'll just do a Secret Santa. Everybody gets one person, and you buy each other a gift. And my niece got me, dude, this you want to talk about me asking for really good presents. I asked for an electric toothbrush. You know what I got? An electric toothbrush. That was dude, I didn't know what to ask for. I don't have.
Well, did you get a good electric toothbrush, or did you get one that, like the battery powered that you can buy at Walgreens?
No. I got like a $50-$60 kind.
Was this like a Sonic Care?
It's I don't know what it is. I think it's made by Philips or something.
Okay.
But it doesn't have batteries. It has like a charger.
All right, I get you.
And boy, this motherfucker, holy smokes! If it was giving blowjobs, it'd be the best ever. Because
maybe that's a good new 2019 idea. It's just like, well, if I could harness the power of this Philips electric toothbrush into something that could give you a great blowjob, you could sell millions of those.
Yeah, if I could fit my toothbrush on my cock somehow, I would. Because Lord knows that thing has got some power to it.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid, though. I'd be afraid to even put it on the head of my dick. It'd probably cut a hole in it. Dude, even on my teeth, it's like, holy shit, there's no way nothing's going to stay on these fucking teeth.
Well, it's supposed to knock off all the plaque.
Yeah, but, man, it feels like it's getting right to the roots. It's like, I'm like, oof, this thing's got some balls.
Yeah, the enamel and everything comes off.
Everything. I'll be looking like Chris Holmes in about 2 months.
Exactly. Because I used my electric toothbrush too much. It just like knocked everything down to a nub.
Dude, that's one of those funny things. We're at John's, and we're just sitting there, and for whatever reason, John got it in his head to start playing these Chris Holmes videos.
Okay.
So we started watching just video after video of Chris Holmes doing his bad songs, and oh my God, he just looks so bad.
Yeah, meth teeth.
Dude, and like there's like one video where he's in the car, like in a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Shooting the video, and I just spit out. I was like, he's probably at work at lunch.
Yeah.
Shooting the video at lunchtime. Because it looked like he knew how to work all the tools and shit. He probably works at this fucking auto mechanic place.
Right.
And he's shooting a video at work. He didn't rent the place. he doesn't have any money to rent the place.
Well, there you go. It might be a job.
Yeah, we were just cracking up watching these videos, shitting bricks and mean man, and he just has bad video after bad video. They're all terrible.
And I'm not going to say this in a gay way, but back in the 80s,
yeah,
Chris was actually a good-looking dude.
Yeah, he was a guy that probably got his share of fucking good
puss.
puss.
I mean, he got a hold of Lita Ford back in the day, and I mean, some of those 80s videos where he might have been interviewed and stuff, he was a strapping, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And probably got his fair share of puss, but to look at him today, he's a broken down wreck with this big old Vince Neil belly going on and can't button his vest. It's just like,
yeah, and that's a thing too. Every one of the videos, he was wearing a vest that was like way too tight.
Yeah, because he's got that big belly sticking out.
But okay, if you're going to do a video, buy a bigger vest.
Of course.
Don't buy one that looks like it's about to burst.
Well, that's probably a vest he wore back in 1989.
Yeah, but don't wear it now.
I agree with you.
Open it. Do like that dude from what is that band? Texas Hippie Coalition. That guy wears vests.
Yeah, the guy that almost broke your neck.
Yeah, Big Daddy Rich. Big Daddy Rich from Texas Hippie Coalition. He wears a vest, but he leaves it open.
Right.
He knows better than to fucking try and trap in the blubber.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
But Chris looks like he's trying to hide a basketball under there.
Yeah, no shit. And his mouth looks like Lita's vagina. Jesus.
Just so bad.
Yeah. Somebody said Zach Wilde looks better than that guy. That was the joke we were making, was like he looked like Zach Wilde's retarded brother.
Yeah, pretty much.
He does. He really does. He has an odd look to him now.
He does.
Which I feel bad because I'm such a fan of the guy.
Yeah. Wasp is a great band, and Chris obviously was a very integral part of that.
Yeah.
But holy shit.
Yeah, boy, when it went to shit, it really went to shit.
It did.
And then he started shitting them bricks. Oof. Boy, it's awful. He needs a singer in the worst. But even, dude, remember that band Animal that we liked that he did?
Yeah.
That 500-pound Steam?
Yeah.
You got to play some of that tonight. That was fucking kick-ass.
Yeah, that was with Randy Piper.
Yeah, but that was also with Chris Holmes, the first record.
Well, he jumped in there. He didn't get too involved, but he got involved for a short time.
I think he played on that first record, didn't he?
I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know, to be honest with you.
No, I don't remember, but Chris Holmes, musician. Let's see. Yeah, it says Randy Piper's Animal.
Okay. Well, he did play with them, but I don't know if he was on the first one or not.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He looks like he quickly relocated to Ohio to prepare for Animal's upcoming 900-pound Steam tour.
All right.
The tour was considered successful. So did he play on it? How can I see his discography? Doesn't even list a discography. That's how sad his page is. His wiki page doesn't even list the shit he's playing on.
His wiki page has more spaces in it than his teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He also did. Wasn't he in that When Angels Suffer?
Yeah, because it sounds like Wasp.
Yeah, that's right. He was in that too. Yeah, he's done a bunch of good records or good bands. Now there you go, Chris Holmes. But yeah, we did that for some reason. I don't even know why. I can't even remember how we got to that topic. But we were laughing our asses off just playing those videos and busting up.
Of course.
Yeah, that was my big exciting holidays, man. I actually did. I know I kid that I don't want to do the show anymore and whatnot, but I really did enjoy the time off.
Well, I did too. I enjoyed, I got to be honest with you. I just was a slug. I mean, I was off of work for 4 days. I went back to work for 3 days. Then I was off for 4 days again. And during the 4 days, I didn't do shit.
Yeah, dude, it was just not for me. It was just nice to disconnect from pretty much everything. I disconnected in large regard from social media, which I think I'm going to stay disconnected from. I disconnected from the show and from the show fans a little bit, and from, even looking at like YouTube and, all of it. I just needed, and it's funny because I got a couple texts tonight from a couple of people saying that I sound real energetic tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to recharge, because I got to be honest with you, aside from putting together the 2 best of shows,
yeah,
I didn't do anything. I mean, yeah. I literally didn't do anything. I watched a lot of documentaries.
Yeah.
And which I'm going to bring up here in a second, because there's something I want to talk about here.
Okay.
But I watched a lot of documentaries. I hung around the house, aside from going to dinner with Sal and his father.
Yeah.
I didn't go anywhere. Didn't do anything. I drank wine. I hung out. I watched documentaries, watched a few movies. Mm-hmm. Didn't do shit.
Yeah,
and it was
nice.
so good. It was just like, man, I live like a slug.
It's nice on occasion, but I was itching to get back.
Yeah, well, again, I couldn't do that for full time, but for 2 weeks of just being able to not have anything and just kind of disconnect your mind,
yeah,
it was nice.
It really was. And for me to be able to not have to perform, and I know I'm not trying to bitch like this, like doing the CMS is fucking work or hard or any of that shit. But it was nice. I was tired, and I think you know that. I was very tired, not because of the CMS so much, but because of I was doing the CMS, and I was doing interviews with bands, and I was doing interviews about Turbo, and I did 50 interviews about Turbo, and it was like every fucking day I was talking about talking, and every interview that's supposed to be 10 minutes ends up being an hour and a half or 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? It just gets goofy,
of course.
And it's like, then it gets to the point, by the last show that we did, I was like, I'm fucking spent. and we get to 2:00 in the morning, my time. And it's like, motherfuck, I've done this for fucking 50 weeks straight.
There you have. Yep.
I need a goddamn break.
Of course.
So, but I feel good. I feel good to be back. And to be clear, since I did get a couple of these texts and messages as well, I was kidding about fucking cutting back on the show. I was just looking for an angle to bring Veronica onto the show.
Right.
I was looking for some way to get Neeley going, what the fuck? That's exact, because I knew I hadn't talked to you about it, and I figured if I started with I'm getting ready to stop doing the show, you'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I was trying to throw the old curve.
Yeah, it was the 2009 all over again.
Yeah, pal.
Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, what's up, Prune Hounds? It's Lou from the Lou.
Well, Lou from the Lou, I hope you got some truth for us tonight.
Well, truth, man, you're talking about you watched a couple documentaries. I saw a documentary that Chris might appreciate. Being the old wrestling guy like myself, Chris, did you ever watch WCCW wrestling with the Von Erichs and the Fabulous Freebirds? Did you ever see
all that stuff's on the WWF network, man, or WWE network. I definitely have watched all of it. It's great.
Yeah, did you ever see the documentary, the Rise and Fall of WCCW?
No, where's that at?
Well, I used to be able to YouTube it, but I guess they took it off, and I think was the WWE bought the rights for it, and took it off of YouTube. But you can get it on DVD. But it's a documentary about the whole history of that wrestling organization, and of course, live it focuses on the Von Erichs and what a tragedy that family was.
Yeah, boy, they were definitely didn't like two of them. Like 4 of them committed suicide, and 2 of them shot themselves, and 1 shot a hole in his own chest. And
well, the oldest one, David, he died of a drug overdose wrestling in Japan. I remember Bruiser King Kong Brody found him in his hotel room, unconscious, and rumor has it that there's all these pills and different drugs that he had flushed down the toilet and everything. They had the youngest kid. He electrocuted himself by accident. They had Mike Von Erich. He always had to live with. He was never as talented as his other brothers wrestling. Right. He was just kind of like the least athletic of the bunch, and it really weighed on him. And he, when he realized that he wasn't going to make it that far, and the only way he was going to make it was because of his last name. He's the one to shout himself.
Yeah, but he shot himself in the chest, right? He didn't shoot himself in the head. He shot himself in the chest.
Yeah, in the chest. And then there was Kerry Von Erich. He was missing a foot.
Yeah,
he had a motorcycle accident.
Some shit. Yeah, but Neely, you love that story. The guy lost his fucking foot but kept wrestling.
Nice.
And nobody knew about it.
He wore a boot that was stuffed. And it's funny because his one of his finishing moves in the WWF was that he would do it was called, what was it, like the Texas Tornado or some shit?
Well, that was his nickname, the Texas Tornado.
But that was his move too, where he would spin around and then clothesline the guy. But the reason he was doing that was because in real life he had that peg foot, so he would plant the peg foot and do the spin around on the peg.
Yeah, and no one really knew until after the fact that he had a he was a peg leg. Yeah. And then the only one that's still alive is Kevin Von Erich, the one that wrestled barefoot, and he lives out in Hawaii. He has nothing to do with wrestling or anything. Him and his family, they moved out there and just got away from it all.
Right. He probably just wrestled barefoot to fuck with his brother that didn't have a foot.
Well, he was wrestling barefoot before WCCW folded up, and WWE absolved everything.
Right.
Which is probably the worst thing that happened to wrestling because it's so boring now.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I'm definitely going to look that one up, dude. I have not seen that, but I would like to.
But yeah, it gets into all of it. It's not just on the Von Erichs, but they're definitely a big portion of the story, and just the damn tragedy. I'm surprised nobody's made a movie just on those guys, considering what they lived through.
Well, I'm sure Vince will find a way to do it at some point and make Becky Lynch the fucking star.
Right. So, but I'm glad you boys survived the holidays like I survived it. The only problem is we got all that bullshit over with, but people are still fucking as retarded as ever.
Well, did you hope it was going to change or something magically over the holiday?
No. It's just, but when you got all the holiday hubbub and all that, it kind of you kind of get your mind distracted a little bit. But hell, I don't know if you guys covered any of this earlier or not, so sorry if I'm off topic, but the damn Democrats, they ain't had the House in a week, and if you ain't stocking up on lead right now and getting ready, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Either you're on their side or you just ain't paying attention. Have you been keeping up with the shit show that those fucking morons? That fucking Nancy Pelosi. When she opens her legs, you boys have seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Yes.
Well, you remember the part where they're sitting around, they're going to have the Christmas Eve turkey?
Yeah, they had the Christmas turkey, and they stabbed it with a knife and went...
That's what it's like when Nancy Pelosi opens her legs. She opens her legs, and all this dust and dryness and god-awfulness just shoots out.
The only story I'm following in politics is the hotness of AOC, baby. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I'd angry fuck the shit out of her.
I can't love her more than I do. She's stupid and has great fucking tits. I love her.
She is stupider than a pile of shit.
That's perfect for a fuck. She's 20.
Yeah, I'd have to put. duct tape over her mouth, so she wouldn't talk.
Did you see the video of her dancing?
Yes, yeah, and how many times have you spanked it to that?
I'm not going to lie, once. That's the number, once, but I did. I absolutely rubbed one out thinking about AOC, baby.
I mean, she wasn't in... If she wasn't in politics, she'd be on a pole somewhere.
Well, dude, she's 29 and dirty. I gotta have a think that there's some video of her that will show up eventually online.
Oh, you would think. I mean, she seems stupid enough. There's pictures of her with the damn phone shut up her twat or her lips wrapped around some cock or something. I mean, so but hell, with her bunch of dipshit followers, I'd probably make her even more popular.
Yeah, so, I'm starting to understand. I might vote for her next time. Now that I see.
Well, I hope you like working for the government then, because that's where your fucking paycheck's going to go. Them people get in charge.
Dude, I'm going to sign over my businesses to my kids, and I'm going to fucking retire and just live off the system. That seems to be the way.
Well, it works for works for the illegal aliens. Works for our dark-colored friends and our white trash friends. So, why not? Hell. I mean, shit. Why work? Hell, you makes yourself feel stupid when you get up in the morning to go to work and thinking, why the fuck am I doing this when there's a bunch of people, millions of people that ain't doing shit. I'm just working for these fucking jack-offs.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but anyway, boys, I just wanted to check in with you. Glad you're back. Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. And hand job.
Nice.
Our dark-colored friends.
Dark-colored friends.
Too good.
You're not liking the AOC, I take it?
Well, I don't like her as a person. I think she's, as a person, she's completely misguided, obviously. I mean, you know that as well as everybody else.
Of course.
But the fact that you find her Brat Pack Boston College video that hot.
I love it. Dude, you know what it reminds me of? And I watched them back to back to make sure I wasn't just making this up.
Clerks 2
is the same dancing as Clerks 2.
Yeah.
It's Rosario Dawson.
Uh-huh.
Who, believe me, there's been a lot of jizz in this house to Rosario Dawson. But it's the same. It's like the same dancing scene.
Yeah, they're doing the dance moves from Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I get what they were trying to go for, but it reminded me more of Clerks 2 because she does look like Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, a little bit.
Other than those big weird eyes.
But, yeah, crazy eyes.
Whatever. Those would fucking just make a different impression on a pillow for all I care.
Yeah. I see her and she just annoys the shit out of me.
I figured. She is annoying, but whatever.
She is completely annoying.
Yeah, she's totally annoying. But again, you watch that video, you don't have to listen to her. You don't have to listen to her talk.
True.
She's just dancing.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
I like it. She got some big fucking heavy tits, don't she?
Yeah, for a girl with such a small frame, she does.
Yeah. She's got a nice big old teardrop tits.
Yeah, big rack.
Yep, nice. Perfect. Love it. Put her and Sarah Palin in a porn. That's what I want to see.
Sure. Well, speaking of documentaries, right. I believe I shared this with you, but a documentary that I watched over the holiday.
Right.
I was really fascinated by this. Now, this documentary isn't new, but it was new to me.
Okay.
It was released in 2012, so we're talking 6-7 years ago already. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't hip to it at all.
Okay.
But the name of the documentary is called "Searching for Sugar Man."
Oh yeah, you told me to watch it. It's in my watch list.
Yeah, you got to watch this.
All right.
This documentary just fascinated me to no end.
Okay, what is it?
Well, it's this singer guy. I mean, he's a solo artist. He kind of was in the same time frame and genre as Jim Croce or
Mac Davis and that era.
Well, I wouldn't say Mac Davis so much, but more of a Harry Chapin.
Okay.
Or Jose Feliciano.
Okay, he's from that era, or he sounds like
he's from that era.
Okay.
He was popular. I won't even say he was popular because he never made it, but he did make a couple of records in the early 70s.
Okay.
And he's a solo artist. He had the acoustic guitar. He kind of sung about social, causes and, political causes and human condition causes and kind of things like that.
Right.
And he made a couple of records in the early 70s, and it went nowhere in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere. Now, this guy was just I won't call him a balladeer so much as just an acoustic guy, but he's from Detroit.
Okay.
And he's from Hispanic origins.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically discovered playing in some Detroit nightclubs or bars.
Okay.
And a couple of record producers saw him performing and thought, I'm going to sign this guy.
Okay.
And he did. He made a couple of records, but for whatever reason, never caught on.
Right. And what's his name? Sugar Man?
Well, no. The song is called Sugar Man, one of his songs, but the artist, his name is Rodriguez. He just went by his last name, but it's Rodriguez. But his full name is Sixto Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And he put out a couple albums. He actually recorded a third record, but because his first two didn't go anywhere, they just kind of shelved the third record because it was like, this is not happening.
Allegedly they shelved it. Eddie Trunk says it may not exist. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
right.
Eddie's not confirmed it yet.
Right. So anyway, he didn't do anything in the States as far as notoriety, radio play, nothing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures. I've never seen this guy before.
Yeah, nothing happened. He put out a couple records, nothing happened.
Okay.
Didn't go anywhere. So people who did buy the record, for whatever reason, somebody brought a copy of it to South Africa.
Yeah.
And it was one of those underground type things that, somebody came from the States, brought the record with them, went to South Africa, somebody heard it over there, said, man, that's damn good, because for whatever reason it related to the people during the apartheid government.
Right.
The oppression and whatnot.
Okay.
And the way that, the subject material that this guy sang about was oppression and rising up and being an individual and being free and whatever. So his music and his words and things kind of related to the people who lived in South Africa who were being oppressed by apartheid government.
Right.
And, as in the old days before the internet, before downloading and whatnot,
right,
it kind of spread via bootleg tapes. Everybody was copying a tape and passing it on to their buddy, and
right,
so
tape trading.
Yeah. So in the 90s, or 20 some years later, this guy was an underground star in South Africa.
Okay.
But he didn't know it.
Oh, so he wasn't aware that he had an audience?
He was not aware.
Okay.
And
right.
So, all these rumors started swirling around. People started buying the record. Finally, the actual record was available for sale in
South Africa.
South Africa. So he literally sold like a couple million records in South Africa. and he knew nothing about it.
Right, and never got a dime.
Never got a dime.
Right. Oh my God.
So 25 years goes by, and You know, he's got this rabid audience in South Africa who, you know, he was this mysterious star.
Right.
And so when the internet came up in the 90s, somebody decided, hey, who is this Rodriguez guy? Where does this guy come from? Who is he? Where does he live?
Right.
Come to find out, he's like some construction guy in Detroit. I mean, he gave up the music life like 2 decades ago.
Right.
And all he does is like renovates old buildings and shit.
Oh, man.
And lives like in a 1-room apartment and, you know, just lives a very modest lifestyle.
And meanwhile, somebody else stole a few $1 million from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay, well, there's an upside to all this.
Okay.
So when the internet started coming on strong in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know, somebody said, who is this guy? Where is he from? Where does he come from? So they started, you know, the internet started very primitively with message boards.
Right, sure.
And so people started posting out on the internet. Anybody know who this Rodriguez guy is? You know, searching for Rodriguez, you know.
Nice.
And strangely enough, this Rodriguez has some grown children.
Okay.
By this time.
Right.
And they found this message board. Hey, I'm Rodriguez's daughter.
Wow.
What do you want to know about him? He goes, well, you know, he's a big star over here in South Africa. Is there any chance of, you know, talking to him or something? And he goes, yeah, he's alive and well. You know, he lives here in Detroit and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, can you call him after work?
Yeah, more or less. That's more or less what happened, you know?
Damn.
And so some interviewer called this guy and said, hey, you know, you're huge over here. He's like,
Right.
what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, you know, everybody owns your records and you're just huge over here and you got a major audience. You need to come over here.
Okay.
You know, mind you, this guy never toured in his life. He just made a couple records. He played, you know, some local bars.
Yeah. His big tour of Lansing was unsuccessful.
Pretty much, yeah, that's it.
Right.
So when they invited this guy over and some promoter, you know, invited him over, treated him rock star style, limos, top-notch hotels,
Right.
the whole thing. This guy sold out 20,000 seat arenas like 4 nights in a row.
Wow.
No shit.
Look at that. That's awesome.
I was just like fascinated by this. I was just like, holy cow. This is amazing.
Yeah, no shit.
And so he went over there and played like 4 shows, and then he came back like a year later and played 4 or 5 more shows and sold out these huge arena type places. And people were going crazy for this guy.
At this point, he ought to move over there.
Yeah. So, you know, and this guy lived such a modest, humble lifestyle that money and possessions and things really meant nothing to him.
Right.
And for whatever money or compensations he got for performing live over there, he basically just gave it away to his friends and family.
What?
Yeah.
He didn't retire and enjoy any of his...
Nope. It was just like, you know what? This is just like catching lightning in a bottle, and I'm just going to share it with my friends and family. And
So wait a minute. So he basically took like he took vacation time?
yes.
Play for
Away from his job. Yes,
people?
absolutely. That's what he did.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, this documentary is really just fascinating.
I gotta watch this.
It's called Searching for Sugar Man.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on, I think it's on Amazon Prime.
All right, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah. But, you know, I watched this and it's like, how did I never hear about this?
Well, apparently you weren't the only one.
Yeah.
Do you have a sample of the music? Can we at least hear
Well,
it?
it's kind of like Jose Feliciano type stuff, you know?
Right.
I'll play a little bit of it. I'll see if I can find something real quick here.
Yeah. Just look up Rodriguez. Well, I guess you can't do that on YouTube. It's got to be hard to find because he just has one name and it's fairly common.
Let's see here. Rodriguez music. Yeah, when I listened to it, it sounded like kind of like Jim Croce, kind of, you know, like I said, Harry Chapin, meets Jose Feliciano.
Right.
That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Just curious what he sounds like.
Let's see if I can find anything on him at all. Sixto Rodriguez, Cold Fact full album. Rodriguez performed Sugar Man at the Sundance.
Let's hear a little of that.
Let's see here.
Well, basically, this story started 1998 when Sugar, who is here somewhere, who's there? Here is Sugar. Please come on the stage. Yeah, just show your face. So this is Sugar. You all see me? Yeah. So this story started when you tried to track down him because he was dead, right?
He was dead.
But actually, the story started a little bit earlier than that. Thank you very much, Sugar. Actually, it started already in 1970, right? Because in 1970, this man made an album called Cold Fact, which was one of the greatest albums ever in South Africa. Are you kidding?
That's absolutely correct.
You're not
All
kidding.
right, fast forward.
It really was that famous.
That was completely famous.
As famous as the Rolling Stones.
As famous as who?
Right. So I will make a quote from the film. You know when the lights dim and...
Let's see if I could...
Get to it.
All right.
Sugar man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of these scenes. For a blue coin, won't you bring back all those colors to my dreams?
Well, I think, that saying about the
That's
pin
enough.
divided in the sword, I think the camera...
That's enough. Oof. Ugh. I guess when you're used to hearing fucking people playing tree bark and dirt drums, that would sound good. But
Sure.
wow, when you watched the documentary, were you horrified by the music?
No, I mean that wasn't a very good representation of it, but let's see if this is any better.
Times you've been ahead, and I wonder how many plans have gone bad. I wonder how many times you had sex, and I wonder, do you know who'll be next? I wonder about you.
See what I mean? He's just like an acoustic guy, but for whatever reason, the people in South Africa related to it.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that sounds like B version of Buddy Holly.
Yeah, that's why I said he's kind of like Jim Croce or whatever,
Yeah, not awful. I mean, that's listenable.
Yeah. So it's just he just does this kind of balladeering acoustic shit. But for whatever reason, he's like a rock star in South Africa. And he goes there and he gets this like rock star greeting.
If this guy's as big as the Rolling Stones in South Africa, wouldn't you love to hear the guys that can't even get a gig?
Yeah.
How bad would they be?
Sure.
Oof. What do you think would be worse? Their worst bands or our worst bands? Or would it be equal?
I would think about equal.
You think so?
Here's the thing. Like here in the States, I mean, we know the Firehouse guys.
Of course.
Okay. They can play at a club. Okay? They
Sure.
go over to Japan. They can play an arena over there.
Sure. Dude, I saw Mr. Big in Korea or in Japan, and I might as well have been seeing the fucking Beatles.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
Dokken too. Dokken in Japan was fucking huge.
Well, Dokken is still huge in Japan. If they go to Japan, they can play a 20,000 seat arena.
Yeah, well, dude, same with Mr. Big. That's why Eric Martin once a year or once every 2 years or whatever goes over and does that Mr. Vocalist shit that he does. Because he's a legitimate rock star in Japan.
Right. Rat is huge in Japan.
Yeah, but not like those other ones that we named.
True. But my point is that any one of those bands we just named, whether it's Mr. Big or Dokken or Rat or whoever, they'll play a 500 to 1,500 seat club.
Right.
Here.
Right.
But they go over there, they could play 15 to 20,000 people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder why that is. Well, I guess now I wonder if there'll be bands. I understand why it is because they didn't go over there very often. But I wonder if now with the internet, where the music is so freely easy to get, if you'll have that. Like if you'll have, I don't know, a low rent rapper here that plays, for 75 people at the fucking Beachland Ballroom. I wonder if you'll see that guy go over to Australia or something and do like 10,000 people.
You never know.
I would bet no, though, because people can hear it now because it's through the internet.
True.
It's not as hard to get the music anymore. My dumb book, Tim James bought it tonight, from 10,000 miles away.
True.
So, it's just easier to get electronic or, digital music. It's just easier now, which I'll bet you will quash down some of this craziness about certain bands being more popular in other places. It's a guess. I don't know.
Well, this guy, whether you like his music or not, for whatever reason, he resonated with the people in South Africa.
Sure.
And unbeknownst to him, he was able to go over there and play arenas.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what fascinated me about that, about that documentary the most, is that this guy, if you look how, meager that he lives in shit town Detroit.
Right.
I mean, he lives like in a one-room apartment with a wood-burning stove.
Jeez.
And he does reconstruction on old buildings where he, basically knocks out walls and shit, and then he goes over there and strums his guitar and plays some songs from 40 years ago, and people go crazy over there for it.
Yeah. But it's amazing that he finally gets a break in life and he doesn't even keep it. He gets his big break in life and he gives it away instead of...
He's just like, I'm past that now. So it's like, I'm done with it. Just like, you know what, this is my life. I accept it.
Yeah. Dude, how about I get that you're past it and all, but how about upgrading to a stove that doesn't require you to have fucking trees close by? I mean, shit, really?
Yeah, but if you have if you enjoy those kind of human interest type documentaries, I would highly recommend that, because it's just like, holy shit, really?
Right.
Could you imagine that, though? And the only reason I related to this is this show.
Okay.
You and I do this goofy show on a weekly basis on a Saturday, and we get people from all over the globe listening. Could you imagine that one day, let's just say Australia, say, man, if Chris and Neeley ever came to Australia, they'd be superstars.
Right.
And you and I make the trip over there, and all of a sudden there's an arena full of people just to see us.
Right.
It's one of those things. It's just like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you don't know how big you are in Australia.
That'd be great. But knowing our luck, it'd be somewhere that neither of us wants to go. You guys are the biggest thing Antarctica's ever fucking seen.
Right.
It would be something like that. We'd be like the biggest thing in Antarctica.
Of course.
Just something fucking miserable. This one little town that the Iditarod runs through is fucking huge on the CMS.
Yeah.
You guys can go up there for the fucking Iditarod.
Yeah. You're like the national radio station here in the whole country.
They play the CMS Legion to start the Iditarod. It's the national song of the Iditarod.
Right.
It's funny.
But again, if you like that kind of thing, that's a good documentary to watch.
Dude, not documentary wise, but you know what I've been watching that it's weird. Did you try Better Call Saul?
I watched a couple of episodes, but I did not get into the full series.
You didn't get it.
No, it's not that. It's just that, you know what? I get into series and then I drop off. Like I got into The Walking Dead and I got in through about the 4th season.
Right.
And I know there's like 8 seasons of this thing. So I only got like halfway through.
Right.
And I liked it and I want to watch it again, but I just can't bring myself to start watching it again. You know what I mean? And the same thing is there's a couple other, shows that I like there's a one with Kristen Bell, The Good Place.
Okay.
I watched the first season. I thought it was hysterical. I got into about the 4th episode of the 2nd season, and then I stopped watching it.
Right.
Same thing with The Ranch. I watched all the seasons. I watched about 5 or 6 episodes of this current season without.
Thanks.
Yeah, and it blows. It was like, man, this is too depressing. I can't watch this.
It's not funny at all.
It's not funny. It's dramatic, and it's just sad, and it's like I can't watch this anymore.
Right. Well, I went through about a month ago, around Thanksgiving. I went and watched all the way through Breaking Bad again. I just started at the beginning of Breaking Bad, and I had only watched it when it originally aired.
Sure.
So just picked up just a shit ton of stuff that I missed, as you can imagine. But I watched all the way through to Breaking Bad, and now I went immediately into Better Call Saul. Now, I tried Better Call Saul when it came out and got bored with it really fast. It just didn't resonate with me. But it had that gap between Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, right?
Okay.
Well, now that I watched straight through of Breaking Bad again, and then I jumped right into Better Call Saul, fucking love it. It is fucking amazingly good. So that's one that I'm into right now. I'm in the middle of season 2, which is really strong. But I think you told me you watched this one before, and maybe I think I watched one episode and I didn't get it. But another one that all of a sudden I've gotten into again was the TV show of Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
That is fucking hysterical. Jesus. The Billy Bob Thornton is such a cunt.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to be in a certain mindset.
Yeah.
To kind of zone in on whatever's going on there, because there's some things that I've watched in the past that just did not click with me.
Right.
And then I just like you, I gave it a second chance, and then it's like, oh, I see where it's at. It's like you gotta kind of zone in or zero in on, I don't know, the premise of it or something.
Yeah, you just have to be in that place, and I don't know how to explain it, but man, that Fargo show is funny. That one dude. Hey, look who it is! It's Niggert. Hey, boys, I used to beat this faggot up.
Right.
I used to write my name on my knuckles and then punch him in the face. I was fucking crying laughing watching that shit last night. And just what's his name? Lester? Is that his name? Nygert. What's his first name?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think it's Lester. It might be Lester. But just everything he says makes me laugh and laugh.
Well, it's that subtle humor.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just, I don't want any trouble, guys. I don't want any trouble, guys. And the guy's like, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. Well, I don't want any trouble, sir. Just fucking killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very subtle. And Billy Bob Thornton, when he gets, you've watched that series or no?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
when he gets arrested and then he pretends he's a church guy, and they let him out of jail because they think that he's like a good guy. He's like, he says to the one guy, he goes, "Dylan, I should take your badge for waving your gun at this fine, upstanding man." And Billy Bob just looks at him with a smirk.
Right, of course.
So fucking good, man. Oh my God. I can't believe that I watched it. I watched a couple episodes the first time and did not get sucked all the way into it because that show fucking rocks.
Well, again, it's one of those, if your head isn't in the right space at that time, it'll just blow by you.
Yep, but I'm watching it now and loving it. Too good.
Well, another group of documentaries that I watched was serial killers.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Well, I found out that, what I found interesting was that I was watching this one, and maybe more people are aware of him than I was, but as I was sorting through these serial killers,
yeah,
I came across this one about a guy by the name of Richard Speck.
Right. Yeah, you told me. You called me and told me.
Yeah. And in the early 60s, this guy was kind of like a alcoholic, drug-addled, degenerate guy.
Right.
And he broke into a, what do you want to call it? Like a dormitory where these nurses in training lived.
Yeah.
And they worked at this little hospital. And he held these nurses hostage for like, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 hours.
Right, sure.
And they thought that, he would let them go eventually.
Right.
And they thought he was just there to rob them. But what he ended up doing is killing 8 of these nurses.
Right.
There were 9 total, but one of them hid under the bed.
Right.
And he didn't see them. And he killed 8 nurses, walks up the street, walks across the Calumet River, throws his knife into the river. Now, this happened in the south side of Chicago. So I started looking it up. This literally happened just a couple of blocks from where my office is. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, it is literally a quarter mile from where I work.
You've probably driven over a space where someone was killed.
Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't know anything about this before.
Right.
So anyway, this guy gets caught. He gets convicted. He goes to jail.
Okay.
And during his time in jail, since he's in jail anyway, being that he's kind of a sick, demented person anyway.
Right.
He starts taking female hormones and starts growing tits and shit.
Right.
Because he's obviously gets fucked a lot in jail.
Right.
So he just more or less plays the part and takes these female hormones and grows tits. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I get fucked in the ass a lot. And guys want to fondle my tits. And, I just accept my role here in jail.
I hook them right up.
Yeah, more or less.
Jeez.
But, this guy just killed 8 nurses. And, he went to jail for life. And I think he died of a heart attack or something.
Yeah, after getting rammed in his ass 9 million times. Oof. Not a fun way to go, no, is it?
Well, there's this interview footage where they talk to him about it, and they go, "Do you like having sex in jail? Do you like getting fucked in the ass?" "Oh, hell yeah!"
It's great.
Basically, what he said is, if they knew how much fun times I was having in here, they would set me free.
Do you think he was really meaning that, or do you think he was really trying like some back-ended ploy?
Well, apparently, at least from what's documented, that he and some other jail, cellmates and whatnot, they were able to use the jail facilities and actually film porn in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
did he release any?
I don't know that it was ever released to the public, but they actually, filmed having sex and stuff in jail.
Jeez, oh man.
Because that's how lax the guards were, and that's how lax the
What's this? What years?
This was basically, well, he got arrested in the 60s, and he was in jail like through the 70s and into the 80s. You're gonna have to look him up. His name is Richard Speck.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of how big of a fucking camera did they have?
I don't know.
60s and 70s, they had those giant cameras that were on like a rolling, pad or whatever you call that shit, stand.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a cell phone. It wasn't like somebody was hiding a cell phone under their fucking bed. They must have had a major
he died in 91.
Okay.
So it was during the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah. Well, and to be clear, I would look it up, but I really don't even want to see any Richard Speck porn. I really don't know that I can handle watching that. That might be too much.
Well, apparently he killed these nurses in 66.
Okay.
So, he got caught fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. In 1996, videotapes featuring Speck were shown before the Illinois state legislature to highlight some of the illegal activity that took place in the prisons.
Yeah, might have been a little late for that. It's crazy.
Yeah, he died of a heart attack in 91.
Wow. Well, see you later, Specky.
Yeah. But, during his time in prison, though, he almost had, like, free run of the place.
Right. He was having a good time.
Yeah.
There's some people, I guess, that they go to prison and they're happy there. They enjoy that shit. They enjoy having a little bit of structure, and they find their way to have all the freedom that they would want. I can't imagine it, but there are some, I guess. He was one.
Well, in May of 1996, Chicago television news anchor Bill Curtis, you know who Bill Curtis is, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Received...
He does all those shows about crime and stuff.
Yeah. He received videotapes made at the Statesville Correction Center in 1988. So this is when they were filming that shit.
Boy, he was probably glad to receive that, huh?
From an anonymous attorney showing them publicly for the first time before the Illinois state legislature, Curtis pointed out the explicit scenes of sex, drug use, and money being passed around by the prisoners.
Nice.
Who seemingly had no fear of being caught. In the center was Speck.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, why would they fear getting caught? They're in prison. What are they going to do to them?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Make them stay longer than life?
Speck was performing oral sex on another inmate, sharing a large quantity of cocaine.
Jeez.
Which another inmate parading in silk panties, sporting female-like breasts, allegedly grown using smuggled hormone treatments, and boasting, if they only knew how much fun I was having, they'd turn me loose.
Good on him. Everybody's got to have some fun in their life, even a murderer.
Yeah. The Illinois legislature packed the auditorium to view the 2-hour video, but stopped the screening when the tape showed Speck performing oral sex on another man.
Yum.
From behind the camera, a prisoner asked Speck if he had killed the nurses. Speck responded, "Sure I did." When asked why, Speck shrugged and jokingly said, It just wasn't their night."
Jesus.
Asked how he felt about himself in the years since, he said, "Like I always felt. I had no feeling. If you're asking me if I felt sorry, no." He asked he also described the details of the experience of strangling someone. It's not like TV. It takes over 3 minutes and you have to have a lot of strength.
Wow. So he had to be strong before he grew those tits. Huh. Does it really take 3 minutes?
Well, according to him, it does.
I would think that you'd be dead before 3 minutes without breathing, wouldn't you?
Hard to say. I don't know. I've never strangled anybody.
When you find out, let me know.
Speck died of a heart attack on December 5th, 1991, the eve of his 50th birthday.
Wow, from too much fun, probably.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he's having too much fun.
Yeah, he fucked himself to death.
This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart. No, not yet. I got more dicks to suck.
Right? More cocaine to snort, more dicks to suck.
Yeah. More titty fucking to be done to me.
Right.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty bizarre video, but just the fact that that little hospital / dormitory is like literally 3 blocks from my office.
Is it still open?
I don't know. I haven't been by there, but it's pretty bizarre.
Well, if you feel dangerous, do a loop this week when you're out by there and see if the hospital is still there or if it's like a shoe store or something.
But man, I had no idea.
Are you going to roll by?
Yeah, I'm going to roll by there because I mean it really is just up the street.
Take a picture. We'll put it up on the Facebook.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that this week.
All right, cool. It doesn't take much to amuse me, does it? Take a picture where Richard Speck killed people.
Yeah. This is the dormitory where 8 nurses died because this guy just slit their throats or strangled them.
Yeah. That's like I've always wanted to, and I never have gone. I don't know why I haven't gone, but I've always wanted to go to the Dahmer house. Like it's still there, right?
It's in Hudson, right?
Or I don't think it's in Hudson. I think it's in Bath. I think it's in Bath, and I just haven't gone down there.
Yeah, it's not that far from you.
Yeah. So I need to find out where that is and go and see it and take a picture.
Yeah. Well, apparently, and I did watch the Dahmer one too.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess his first kill, he went down to Akron.
Oh.
And found some dude in a bar.
Okay.
And took him back to his house there in Bath and, had sex with him and shit. And then basically killed him and then chopped him up and put him in little pieces behind his parents' house there in the woods.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I've seen the video footage of the Summit County sheriffs just basically combing through the woods and digging up bits and pieces of bone and shit.
Oh.
That was basically scattered around behind his parents' house.
Man, oh man. He was a sick fuck, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
How do you get that fucking sick?
I don't know. I think it's just born into you.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people some people are just born fucked up.
You don't think that there's something that happened that makes you that fucked up?
It's hard to say. I don't know the answer, but I did watch the one with what's the clown killer guy?
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy. He was here from the Chicago area.
Right.
And he had like 20 some guys buried under his house.
Yeah, he was, dude, I watched it, and I know that you don't watch these, but I watched this reenactment of Gacy on Amazon Prime over the break. And he was just, everything about him was that he was a piece of shit. It's not like he was like a good dude in public, but an asshole in private that was killing people. He was an asshole. Everybody hated him. he had a little small business. Everybody that worked for him hated him. People that met him thought he was fucking creepy and weird. Everybody that he kept hiring thought that he was a fucking weird faggot.
Yeah.
But yet they all worked with him anyway, and they all got killed. He went and he kept hiring these young kids. And
yeah, he had a construction firm.
Yeah, and then because the stench of the bodies coming up from his fucking house was so bad, he went under in his crawl space and fucked up the pipes so that he could say, "Oh, it's the sewage running out of the pipes."
Yeah.
This guy was a disaster.
He was
every fucking level. He was just a cock. No one liked this fucking guy. He should have killed himself.
Everybody hates you. You just should die.
Well, dude, if you have no one in your life that likes you, Shouldn't you just kill yourself?
Well,
If you have nobody.
Some people justify the reason why people don't like them. And they don't realize that people don't like them because they're just a shitty person. Mm-hmm. They just think that there's something wrong with everybody else.
Everybody else is fucked up. And I'll bet you Gacy was one of those guys. I would bet from watching that show, I would bet anything that Gacy was one of those guys that just thought everybody was fucked up and he was right.
Yeah.
I would bet anything on that. And didn't even think that somehow justified the killings in his own head. I would bet anything on that. Weird, sick fuck.
Well, there's a lot of those documentaries available on YouTube, which,
sure.
I pull it up on my laptop and then I Chromecast it to my TV.
Sure.
So that's how I watched a lot of them because, once you start, YouTube, with all of its faults, mm-hmm. some of the good things about it is that if you watch any kind of a subject material, it'll suggest even more.
Oh, absolutely.
So the ones you may not be aware of will come up there and they go, well, because you watch this, you might like this.
You don't like the app on the Roku? The YouTube app?
It's easier for me to search on the laptop because on the Roku, you have to sit there and just type one letter at a time.
And click through it.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. On the laptop, I can just type it all out real quick.
Yeah.
And then find it, and then I just Chromecast it.
Yeah. See, I use I use the Apple TV app all the time, and I'm all about. I watch a ton of YouTube. I'm with you. As much as I don't like that they're going to kill us eventually, I won't stop watching YouTube.
No,
I love YouTube.
YouTube's got a lot of great content on there. A lot of stuff that I wasn't even aware of. I must have watched probably 20 documentaries on YouTube.
Oh, dude, I've watched hundreds.
No, I mean just over the break.
Yeah, I believe that. Dude, one of the things that I've been on a real kick watching lately has been these Howard Stern. All the Howard Stern TV stuff is out there. Whether it's the old E! Show episodes or the Sirius stuff when he was on Sirius, the Howard TV show that was on for a while. I've been watching that stuff and it just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. And it's like the only problem that I have with it keeps coming is it always tries. Do you ever run into this problem where YouTube tries to force feed you something that you've already skipped?
Yeah.
That you want to watch, but it just keeps on fucking feeding it to you?
Yep.
There's this one fucking episode, and I swear I'm going to reach out to the guy and ask him to delete it because it's driving me so fucking crazy. It's 4.5 hours of Eric the Midget. And Eric the Midget was always a turn the radio off guy for me if he was on Stern. I fucking hated him then, and I'm glad he's dead. And
nice.
And I don't ever want to hear him. Well, I'll get in a groove. I'll watch like two episodes of the E! Show, the old E! Show from Howard Stern.
Right.
And this 4-hour fucking Eric the Midget marathon will come on. And I'm like, motherfuck. So then I'll go and I'll back out of it and I'll put on another thing. And it comes on and I'll watch another thing. And then the same one comes back again. Right back where I turned it off before. Eric the fucking Midget. It's like, just go fuck yourself. I fucking hate him. I'm not a... Dude, isn't it weird when and I know we're all over the map, but when we were listening to Stern full time, loved the Whack Pack guys.
Sure.
But to watch them now, can't do it. To watch it now, I can't watch an episode that has Kenneth Keith Kallenbach or Crackhead Bob or Jeff the Drunk or any of those guys. I can't do it. It's like, I can watch them when they're all busting each other's balls, like Howard busting Artie's balls or whatever. But I can't watch those fucking idiot Whack Packers. I just can't do it.
Well, at the time, obviously it was just new to us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, and it was, industry wide, there was nothing like it. There was, if you weren't listening to Howard Stern, you were listening to Hey, it's Chucklehead and Sue in the morning, and it's 10 after the hour, and you know what that means, don't you? It's time to play the cash board. You know, it's like, ugh, just shit. And then Stern came on and just changed everything. But, you know, it is weird, though, that when you watch it now, how it's not as tolerable as it was. Absolutely couldn't get out of your car.
True.
Because you were listening to it then. It's just weird how that is. And I don't care about my mic noise, demon. There, I'm moving the mic around. I don't care.
You're making mic noise, Chris.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're ruining my listening enjoyment.
Yeah. I did that for the first 3 hours. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, I'm going to, since we're talking about serial killers and all that good shit, I'm going to end the show with some kill, fuck, die.
All right.
I want to thank our good friend Veronica for stopping into the show, unbeknownst to me.
Yes, it was fun.
Yeah, she's quite a handful. And then some.
Boy. 2 very large handfuls.
Exactly. I want to thank our good friend Bob Nalbandian for checking in with us and bringing us up to date with what's going on with him and all the projects that he works on and all that fun stuff. And I will be out at NAMM January 23rd through the 25th, I believe.
Yep,
23rd, 24th, 26th, actually.
Okay.
So if you're out in Anaheim, Southern California, hit me up on the email, request@theclassicmetalshow.com, and maybe we can meet up somewhere. Who knows?
Ooh.
And there's a screening of the Band versus Brand, and that's free.
Sure.
So you can come out to that, which I will be at that, and all that fun stuff. So anyway, let's get out of here. It's been a good show. Good show back. Glad to be back in 2019, 23rd anniversary of the Classic Metal Show.
Yes,
and we'll be back, and we'll do it all again next week. So this is Neeley, along with my very good friend
Chris Aiken.
And we are gone.
Bye, kids.
Hi there, this is the one and only Blackie Lawless of Wasp, and you're rocking hard to the Classic Metal Show